So what is OMY syndrome and why can it be so deadly to retirees? OMY stands for one more year. And you know, it can be so tempting to continue to work just one more year, both just from a comfort standpoint, right? It's what we've done for a long time. And oftentimes maybe our jobs will try to convince us to stay an extra year. They might offer some nice bonuses, or they might offer the opportunity to be a consultant, come back and work as a consultant and maybe work 20 hours a week. And, you know, you do you, right? We all have to do what's best for us, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. I just want to give you a caution and make sure you're thinking through what some of those costs are, because it's easy for us to assume that our health is going to last forever. And, you know, one more year is not a big deal, but it could be a big deal. And I don't want you to end up looking back with regret. So I want you to be deliberate and thoughtful about how you make the decision, whether that's right for you or not. So I've shared in the channel before that, you know, unfortunately, if you're 60 years old, you likely only have 1,000 weeks remaining of healthy, active time. And that's not a lot of time. So if you end up, you know, saying, hey, I'm going to retire, and then your boss comes to you and says, hey, we'll give you this nice bonus. They put some golden handcuffs on you, or they offer you the bonus or the opportunity to work as a consultant. That's all great, but, you know, that's 10% of your healthy, active time, and that's a lot. So just be careful with that. And, you know, one of the viewers of this channel left me a comment in one of my other videos, and he's the one actually that came up with this OMY acronym, you know, one more year. And he also said, actually, this was a different viewer that said, you know, every year that you continue to work actually adds 3 years of help to your retirement plan. Which sounds like a good thing, but when I share with you what he said, you may not be that excited about it. So the first year that it helps is you have one more year that you're saving, right? And then you have one more year where you're not spending money out of your account because your salary is paying your spending expenses. But then what he says is your lifespan gets shortened by 1 year because of the stress of the job. So that also helps your retirement plan by a year, because there's one less year of planning that you have to do. So just be careful with that. That's not how I want to earn 3 years of help in my retirement account, right? And unfortunately, our health span is less than our lifespan, right? We only have so much time that we can go out and do things. So really be thinking through ahead of time, you know, how important is that extra year? And here's a couple things that I think can be helpful as you're thinking through this for yourself. The first one is I think it can be helpful to set both a money target for your retirement accounts, but also a date target, and say, you know, I'm going to retire at the first of these two or the second of these two when I hit this number, or when I hit this age. And for some people, they'll say, you know, whichever it comes first, that's great. Other people will say, you know, whichever comes second. But, you know, the nice thing about the date, the age, is it keeps those milestones from moving for too long. And just make sure that you do take advantage of some of your healthy, active years. And then, of course, as I share in other videos, really I should be saying goalposts instead of milestones. The goalposts, the financial goalposts, for moving, having that number set, and there's nothing wrong. Let's say, you know, you say you're going to work until you have $2 million or you're 65, and you say, whichever comes latter. And if you end up with $2.5 or $3 million because you decide to work to 65, that's great. That's great. But just make sure you're conscious and deliberate about what that trade-off involves. So that's the first thing that I think can be helpful, that date and financial target. The second one is there's a great book written by a gentleman named Arthur Brooks. It's called From Strength to Strength. And I've recommended it to over a dozen people. Everybody that's read it has just said it's been phenomenal. It's game-changing for them. So I recommend you read it. Hopefully you find it as helpful as some of my other friends that I've shared it with. And it really talks about, you know, how to transition from one area of strength and one area of comfort professionally and from a personal passion standpoint to the next level. And the author does a phenomenal job with it. So I hope you find that helpful. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, do me a favor, hit the like button. It really does help the algorithm find other viewers that this video can be helpful to. And take a second and leave me a comment. I love reading the comments. I do read all the comments. So thank you for leaving those. And until next time, I'm Azul, encouraging you to take full advantage of the youth of your senior years. Remember, you're only young once. Use this time wisely.